All right, so let's talk about how to be incredibly consistent, hit the ball really solid, and make a lot of the same moves that the tour pros are making. Let's give it a shot. There we go. I hit that one pretty daggone good. Ball's just got a nice little draw to it, just right of the target. 194 carry with a 6-iron. Felt like I swung easy, 97 miles an hour. That's 3, 4, 5 miles an hour faster than tour average. And it's all about, for me, what I'm feeling there, is I want this club to lag and then whip and kind of just take off through contact to get that easy, effortless speed. I really want to feel like the ball just sinks into the face and just kind of explodes off there. Let me walk you through a progression of exactly how to get that same feeling. So the first thing we're going to do is something that's incredibly counterintuitive. Almost nobody does this the right way without being kind of taught what's happening here. Now, most people square up the face by doing this, throwing the hands at it. Now that gets the face square, but I don't have my body open. I'm standing up out of my posture usually when I'm doing that, so I'm not staying in my posture. My body isn't open, and I don't have my hands in front. From that position, this position here, it's almost impossible to hit the ball with really good quality consistency. So it's never going to feel that good. Even if you hit it right on the center of the face, it doesn't feel that great. So what pros are doing, instead of squaring the face up like this, they're actually like this at impact. So that face is really closed. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to get down in my posture, set it up behind the ball, and that would be shooting way off to the left there. So there's two things I do. I open my hips and I lean my hands in front, and now the face is square. Now I didn't change my wrist angles. The wrist angles are the same. I just turn my body and turn my arms in like that. So basically I'm taking this wrist angle and I'm going like that to get my hands in front and my body open, and that puts me in the pro-like position. So that's the first piece, getting used to being in this pro kind of power move from there. So I want you to do 10 or 15 little swings to get comfortable with that first piece. Now when I do that, I'm going to really compress it. You're going to hear the sound of it is nice and solid when I get into that pro position. There we go, really solid shot. Again, it's coming out low and hard, lots of speed on it. Again, nice little draw there. Now the second piece of that, when you get those hands in front, now you finally got a chance to be consistent. Your shoulders have to move in a different way too. See, most people, when they're used to kind of throwing the club, they stand up out of their posture, the shoulders stall, and then the arms just kind of throw at it. That's what makes the club lose the shaft lean. Well, what the great pros are doing is once they get in that shaft lean position, they're getting left shoulder low, and then they're feeling like almost like somebody's on your back, and you're going to turn up and through the shot, and you're going to throw somebody off your back. So if you imagine somebody was kind of leaning on your shoulder there, you get in this good position, I'm going to throw them into the wall here. So if I just grab my arms, put them across my shoulders, I'm going to get this shoulder low, and then I'm going to use my legs to rotate, and I'm going to turn through the shot like that. So really I'm trying to pull this shoulder up and through as hard as I can. That gets that little whip through contact. Now finally, I want to have the extension. It doesn't really do me any good to have this shaft lean if it's only for a split second and then I throw it right after that. I want to feel like I smush the ball into the face. And as I rotate through, as I'm throwing this person in the wall, I want my hands to extend toward the target. Imagine it like this. The logo of my left hand is going to extend toward the target as long as possible. I want to have my hands kind of waist high here in the follow through, logo of the glove toward the target. Same thing with the right hand. I'm going to have that right hand extend when my hands are waist high, palm of my hand toward the target. Now in reality, that's not going to happen. The club will go ahead and release through there. But if you have that sensation, you're going to realize, oh dang, I have a lot more lag now. I have a lot more shaft lean, and it feels a lot better. So let's put those three things together. I'm going to feel like I get my wrist turned down like the pros are doing. I get my shoulder from low to high, throw that person in the wall, and I'm going to extend on through the shot. And this time I'm going to do something a little different. I'm barely going to swing. I'm going to feel like I make a half swing, real slow, real smooth, but I'm going to compress it like the pros do, and let's see how my shot ends up. So that one didn't feel like I swung very hard at all. Nice and smooth, again, 6-iron, 185 carry, 92 miles an hour, a swing speed that's about what the average pro is doing, but I felt like I put out about 20% power on that. And to be honest, I didn't even hit that one that solid. I probably could have got another 5 to 7 yards out of it if it just wasn't a hair thin. So even when you miss it one, they're still pretty daggone good. Now, a lot of players have trouble doing this. What they do when they get this club closed is they end up coming over the top. You see, when I'm not used to opening up my body, I kind of stand up and throw. Well, all of a sudden, if I take these same positions that I'm used to having, and now all of a sudden I turn my body open more. That's that getting the hips more open. I get the club face closed like that. Now I start to pull over to the left. There's two pieces of this. Piece number one is closing the face. Piece number two is shallowing that club out from the inside so that you can deliver it from the inside and all this makes sense. You see, if I don't get that second piece right, it's almost impossible to get the whole picture putting it together. Once you get the whole picture, it's like, oh, okay, now I can see why I never was able to figure this out before. Now I have a great bonus video for you. It's called the tennis racket drill, and it shows you both of these pieces. I'll walk you through in even more detail exactly what to do with the hands and wrists, the proper way to close them, and I talk about the angle that you need to come down to hit really nice, solid, compressed shots. I'm going to play a preview of that video, and here in just 1 second, all you need to do is go ahead and click on one of the cards that pops up on the screen. And don't worry if you don't see one of those, just go down to the description down below and click on the link there. You'll get instant access to that tennis racket drill where I walk through how to do the wrist and the swing plane together, and you're gonna hit some great shots. I can't wait to share it with you. We're gonna have a blast learning this together. Let's go ahead and get started right now with the tennis racket drill. Good player problems. We're gonna talk about shallowing that club shaft out as we're starting down, as we're doing this rotating of the face that we worked on in the last video. As we start this downswing, what you'll see with basically all of the top players is instead of coming kind of over the top and letting the hands come out away from their body, letting the club come out away from their body, again coming down steep into the ball and then having to open up, kind of fillet open the face and add loft to it. The flattening of the shaft should happen as soon as we start down. So as we start this downswing, what we want to have happening here, you can imagine that if I draw a line from the hosel of my club up through my right elbow, that's my swing plane line, my elbow plane. As I go to the top of the swing, I'm going to be slightly above that. And then as I start down, I want my hands to start to shallow out. I want the club to shallow out inside of this elbow plane. And at the same time,